So here I am recording from a beautiful garden. The property is called Markdale, and they've got these amazing manicured gardens. They host getaway retreats here and weddings and obviously any kind of event. You can come and you can book the cottages and you can stay, but it's just breathtaking. The views, they've got a lake, a dam that they've made with a beautiful bridge hanging over it. It's just wow. And it's sitting surrounded by hills of greenery and sheep and trees and rocks and all of that stuff. But it's just it's really taken my breath away. And one of the topics that I actually was thinking about while I was walking through these gardens was when you start to practice self-love, self-care, self-worth, self-confidence, there's a word that is within all of those words that's common, and that's self. And self means you as an individual. And once we start to really focus on all of our self-care, self-love, self-confidence, self-worth, we start to focus on who we are as individuals. And at the time that you can become so congruent, so integrated within, so accepting of everything that you are, and speaking from your truth. What I mean by your truth is what comes from deep within, what comes from your heart. We are very, very easily influenced by our mind. We consciously operate, and we're also easily distracted by worldly events and worldly chit chat and things that are happening around us and materialistic items. It does take practice to actually learn how to, let's just say, ignore all that and focus in on ourselves as who we are as individuals, and actually come back into our heart and do things out of our heart. So actually understanding how to practice unconditional love for yourself and then for others, but really, really taking time to practice self. And when I say self, it's self in all of those topics I just mentioned. You will find then that you will become who you truly are meant to be without having to place, materialistic effort to it. Some people will look at self-love and self-worth and sort of try and categorize that by all the things that they own and the friends that they have and the events that they attend. And if that's what fills up your cup, then awesome, that's great. But when it comes down to the ending of an event, when you're sitting at home on your own, do you still feel that connection even though you're not surrounded by the people you were just with? When you are taking time out to actually unwind from work and all the busy topics that you fill your calendar up with, do you feel whole? Do you actually feel like you aren't alone? Do you feel like you are enough? Do you feel like your company is all that you actually need to achieve anything it is that you want in life? Do you feel content? Do you feel happy? What goes on for you when you sit in those alone moments? What does your mind start to do? What thoughts travel through your mind? What comments? What words? How are you articulating your sentences? All these things, when you start to bring them to awareness, when you start to ask yourself these questions, you start to learn so much about yourself. And for me, because of all the awareness that I've taught myself to build and obviously bring front of mind, I can sit in my own company and be completely content and happy with that. I can speak out about how I feel and what I feel because I'm confident within. I accept myself for who I am, and I accept those around me as well. I practice self-love. I take time out for me, and I make sure that I am okay. And I also understand that once I do that, once I do practice all those things for myself, when I take self as the primary driver, I'm then able to give back to everyone around me and everything else around me at a much higher frequency than what I could have before when I was completely drained. And that's, I guess, a way of how I look at it. Prior to me becoming aware of all these things in my life, I would literally be running with a tank that's pretty much driving on fumes. You know, it's enough fumes just to get me by or turn the engine on. And if that's what works for you in life, you know, I'm not here to tell you otherwise. But for me, I made that decision that when I move ahead, I want my tank to be full, and I want it to be full with the things that I want to fill it with, not what the world wants to fill it with. And my tank is full of self and all the things that cater to self, and that's me. And I find that because of all those abilities that I've worked on, and it's something you work on each day. It's not something that you just kind of park it on a shelf and it's there whenever you need it. It is there whenever you need it, as long as you're making yourself practice it and absorb it and own it and love it. Yeah, it's there for you. You'll feel that you're able to talk and have conversations and hold relationships and hold space for people in a much different way, in a much different light, at a much different frequency vibration. It is just, it's really starting to learn how to live again, and to live properly, and to live within your energy, and to live within the universe, and to live within everything Mother Nature has to offer. And knowing that you're taking care of self, number one, giving you back the opportunity to take care of others around you at 100%. I can't explain to you how amazing that is, and how much that just makes you know that you're truly living in this moment for however long we have our moments. So that's all I wanted to really speak about. My mum was watching me while I was talking about this. There she is there. And we're walking.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a little bit of a reflection that I just had while I was sitting here looking at that beautiful view. So take time out. Invest in yourself. Don't look at the money. Don't look at the time. Don't look at what your friends are doing or what the world is expecting of you. Don't look at worldy. What I mean by worldy, don't look at world demands. Don't look at the media. Don't listen to the media. Don't be absorbed by anything that's going on around you. Just focus on you. Take time out. Go back to basics. Go back to nature. Even if that means walking through a spider's web.
Oh, wow.
Go back to doing what makes you happy. And if you don't know what that is, I suggest you start asking yourself that hard question. Because it's very, very easy to get lost in what we believe we like, or what we believe we should be doing, or what car we need to buy, or what house or suburb we need to live in. And we really start to forget about who we are as individuals, and we get to a point where it becomes too late. And the ironic part about all that is, when we don't take care of ourselves, our body starts to deteriorate. And you'll start to experience other things in life where parts of our body might not operate the way it's meant to, or we might actually come across disease and other things. So take the time to invest in you. And that's what I mean by time. Make that time for you. Time is an interesting topic, as once it's gone, it can never be retrieved. It's outside of your control. So become aware. Focus on self. Do things that truly make you happy, and ask yourself that hard question of what is that? What does it look like? Ask yourself, when you are sitting at the end of an event night or alone, whenever that may be, are you truly happy? Are you content? Are you just settling? How does your heart feel when you operate? Are you operating from heart, or are you operating from head? How do you fill this back up so that you're completely operating from heart? Pick up some books. Pick up some self-help books. Read them. There are some really educated people out there that have put some really great work into pages of books. If you can't read, download an audio. My God. There's always a way to keep it advancing who you are and your abilities within you. Find a podcast that resonates with you. Start listening to people and finding those that you want to utilize as a mentor, someone that may have achieved what it is you're setting out to achieve. Get to know them. Start to learn, how did they do it? Model excellence. You know, utilize really great mentors so that you can get to where you're going in life. But just don't stop investing in you. Don't stop taking time out for you. Because I guarantee the job that you work at or the materialistic items you own will not batter an eyelid when you are unwell, when you are burnt out, when you are suffering, when you are alone. They will not be there to do anything for you. And the more energy you feed into them, the less energy you've got in your own tank. So take back that control. Choose to do things differently. Anyways, something I can definitely talk about for ages. So if this is a topic you'd love to connect on, reach out to me. Let's have a chat. Let's really get you going in the direction you need to go so you can actually start living the life you want. Chase your dreams. They're not going to chase you. Trust me, they're not going to chase you. But get into your car, fill your tank with what you need, and let's go for a joyride together. You can do this. Anyone can do this. I know I'm doing it, and I've done it. And when I reflect back on my life and where I was 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, there's a massive change in who I am and where I'm going. And I live this life because I'm creating the life I love for me. And from me comes into my husband and into my children's lives as well. Anyways, I'd love to chat to you if you'd want to talk some more. Take care of yourself.